as well. K-Million with Wela. It's 8:11. And as per Thursday, it's tradition, we have Ask the Police, and with us in studio is Mr. Mulenga. Mr. Mulenga, how are you doing this morning?
Good morning to you. I'm very well, thank you. It's a cold day, but I think it's for the better after having a lot of hot days in the recent past.
Yeah. All right, so there's been a lot that's been happening in different communities, and today we're talking about enhancing security in our communities. So we just get straight into it. How does the police deal with communities where there are no police posts or police stations, and the difference between the two?
Well, a police station is the main operation center for any police operation. For example, we have got Kitwe Central Police Station. Then it is given certain jurisdiction, certain areas within which to operate. So it is a police station. Now, looking at the vastness of the area, it cannot get, the people cannot easily access all particular areas under their jurisdiction. So what happens then is that they set up temporary places to cater for the people in that community. Let's say, for example, there is a St. Anton area. So a police post will be set up. It's basically a mini police station reporting to the main police station, which is Kitwe Central. Yeah. So in terms of being policing, they will be reporting to the main station, which is Kitwe Central. So it's basically like a shift. The way we have at the main police station, we have got 3 shifts running. We've got shift 1, shift 2, and shift 3, which runs at various times of the day. So a police post is basically an extension of a shift taken closer to the people to give them easier accessibility rather than asking them all to move to the police station. So that is that. So it goes to answer part of the question that you asked, that how do we cater for communities where there are no police stations or police posts? So first it begins by having patrols there, long-range patrols. We may ask officers to pass through as they are conducting their patrols, so that they provide a service to the people there. Then secondly, we may team up. This is the most recent approach now, where we team up with members of each community to say, okay, we don't have a police structure here at the moment, but what we can do is we can come together, conduct patrols together, or work together. So we do team up with members of the community and do patrols there, or we can incorporate certain members of the community to be giving us information, to call us when there is need for us to make an appearance there, and we'll do that.
Okay, so now this is one thing that coming from some stories that have been covered in the news in the recent past. Right here in Kitwe, Parklands is one area that has been mentioned as a place that needs a police post. So these are some of the areas where you say you have patrols, and then you conduct patrols and engage the communities. Now, in terms of a patrol, mostly I have seen the police in cars. Maybe you can just explain to us a little bit what a patrol is exactly, because maybe is that it? Is that all that is involved in a patrol?
Definitely not. A patrol is, to put it in very simple terms, is when the police move with a particular objective. They want to move to place A, place B, so that they carry out their mandate. For example, we want to ensure that there is no crime. We want to get to know the residents of that area. We want to interact with them. We want to get to know the area itself. And we also want our presence to be a deterrent to would-be offenders. So they have spelled out 4 objectives of what we want to achieve when we conduct a patrol. So every patrol has got its own objectives. So that said, there are 2 types of patrols. There is what you normally see, where you see police officers in labeled vehicles, labeled police, or police officers in uniform patrolling. So those, they are what we call overt operations. Overt meaning open. So they are there for everyone to see that their police are doing their operations. And then we have also covert operations. People like me don't wear uniform. There is a reason. I'm supposed to blend in with the community without being easily identified as a police officer. So there are those as well. So we have our intelligence unit, we have our detectives. They'll be mingling with you perhaps without you realizing that you're in the presence of police officers. So then, so we have those 2 types of patrols. Then we also have where we have information that in this particular area there is a group of people, criminals targeting to commit a particular type of offense. So there we'll put it under surveillance. So again, there you will not be able to see us because the intention is for us to see and not to be seen. So it's not just the people that you will see openly in uniform, in labeled vehicles. That's not the end of patrol. There are also people in plain clothes. Sometimes we may not do it ourselves, but we may use members of the community. Like, for example, would use you. Let's say we are in good standing with you and we are looking for a criminal who stays next to your home. So we can engage you to say, the minute you see him coming through, him or them, just let us know, and that is your role. You are not to go near, you are not to make it obvious. Just when you see them, let us know. The rest we will do. So these are the type of activities that we will do to ensure that we reduce crime.
And most of these communities that have been talking about the issues of crime in the recent past has been to deal with the recent huge demand for scrap. And what has been noticed is that Amagate, grave markers, metal bars, then the poles themselves, the bars, are being stolen in the communities. What has the police done about this? I'm sure, is it your attention that this has been happening?
Definitely, we've received some reports concerning that, and we are taking action. Firstly, we are trying to educate members of the community that the importance of working together. It is not possible that police can be everywhere at the same time. We are limited in number and we can only be at certain places at certain times. But with the help of members of the public, like the example I just gave, where we are looking for somebody who stays next to you, and we ask you to assist us, that the minute you see this person, please let us know. So similar circumstances, if we are working with members of the public, we are able to extend our presence through the members of the public and cover a greater area. So basically, security begins with you, the individual. You can't say, because we have police patrolling, I'm going to sleep with my door open. Okay? The primary in security is you, the individual. When us, what we come to do is to supplement. And when we work together, yourselves, the members of the community and the police, then we have a greater impact in what we are doing. So the first thing is we are trying to sensitize members of the public on the need to work together. The second thing that we are doing is we are also trying to encourage members of the communities, especially where this is rampant, to say, can we try to form Neighbourhood Watch, CCPU, so that we have a deliberate patrols in place. We have deliberate activities aimed at discouraging the criminals. Then the third thing that we are doing is we are also trying to engage the scrap metal dealers.
Okay, yeah.
So that
awesome.
we educate them. Also, it's not that everything that is brought to them they have to buy. You have to look at the source. Where is this coming from? For example, manhole covers. If somebody brings to you an intact manhole cover, popularly known as minholes, you have to ask yourself, why are they selling a manhole cover? If it's broken, yes, you may understand that it's broken, it can't be used. So we are trying to engage them on what they can buy, what they cannot buy. Also, the other thing is the scrap metal dealers need clearance from the police. We have an input. So again, we are training our officers on how best to do the inspection of the scrap metal as it is being cleared for being taken out of the district. So those are the 4 measures that we are putting in place.
All right. Now, no, we take a break, yeah?
Yes, we do.
Okay, cool.
Be heard. Text or WhatsApp Flava FM on 0965 000 877.
OneXBet makes you a winner. Spot a chance to own the game and seize that opportunity to take fate into your own hands. All it takes is one crazy decision to change the game. Are you ready to win and set the stage for your success? This is how winners are made. Place your bets on www.onexbet.com.za. Use the promo code BESTZAMBIA. Be that
with a heart and soul.
OneXBet. Follow the leaders.
OneXBet is regulated by the Gaming Board of Zambia, not for persons under the age of 18. Terms
One
and conditions
thing I've
apply.
learned about beauty: true beauty starts from under the skin and works its way outwards. It took me a while to realize that I don't have to constantly struggle to cover up dark spots, allergies, dryness, or any other skin condition. Thanks to the natural goodness and herbal wonders of MediHerb Ayurvedic soap with 18 herbs.
On this paper are the names of the 5 contestants.
It's excellent.
The language dictates that when you are talking, you must remember that you're talking to one person.
He's here for just trying out and see how best this will work for him. But we don't need people like that here. You understand? So this is not a place for him. So him, for that reason, he'll be gone.
He's like, hey, you don't deserve to be in this competition if you don't have a competitor. I'm like, bro, I'm from Chimwemwe. I don't want to handle you.
This is a part of the competition that you at home were waiting for.
I can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
You know, when you're good, you're good.
Yeah.
With me, I have
marriage na imweno wene kankuli manchi iyo twita ipya ko batukwiti aisangira kuno gwisa bana babonge.
Right sense knows that the only way it can reach to its listeners the way we do.
This is your brainchild.
United 0, KB Stars 3.
For Indeni, that is a good run.
Muna line mo ya pita nabana kwa leisa istwa kula ndo mutende pacha
We're going to have my take on potato wedges, chicken wings, we have some beef, and we have some sausage. This could end up somewhere else, but we'll just go with the flow. That's how I cook.
Wait a minute. What do you mean it could end up somewhere else?
Number one rule, chef must always stay hydrated at all times. Grade 10, I get to school, we have to pick options. I tell myself, food and nutrition class is going to have a lot of girls in it. So I go to the class because of the girls. I end up falling in love with cooking and do not take any of those girls out on a date or anything. So
you don't know what's got you feeling moody, but I can see that you need to feed. You're looking kinda hungry. Won't you pull up a seat and eat? I got a little bit of this.
I'm with my, as usual, chief food taster, aka Katubi Wakundola, Silva, and he's here to give his assessment as we eat, obviously. I did wash my hands before this, just letting you know. You guys are not eating. You're not part of this. Anyone who spoke about football or anything like that is not eating.
Sugar and spice, so nice.
12-222-877-0965 Those are the lines you're using to call as well as text. If you have any questions, use those lines. Remember, this is Ask the Police, and we are talking about enhancing security in communities. As we continue, so we do have a lot of people that work, very late, go home late, some very early in the AMs. What should people who work late keep in mind when they are walking home at night in areas without security?
Well, like I was saying earlier, the security, the primary person responsible for any person's security is oneself. So knowing that you knock off late and you get home in the hours where there are not many people on the road, if it is possible, try to arrange that you move with somebody. You are 2 or 3 moving on your way home. If it's not possible, try to use a route which has got sufficient light and there are nearby houses, because if you are using a route which is isolated, even when you are under attack, you are shouting for help, nobody will come to your aid. But if you are using a route which is well lit, even the criminals will don't like using that. So use routes that are well lit, use routes that are near residential or places where there are people. Use routes, maybe try to get a friend or two to move with. So just avoid being alone, avoid becoming vulnerable, becoming a victim. For any crime to occur, there must be 3 conditions that must be met. There must be a willing offender, which of course we are saying there are criminals out there waiting to commit the crime. There must be a vulnerable victim, that is you, the person knocking off late. And then there must be an opportunity. So the opportunity is what I was referring to as reducing the chances of that opportunity by moving in a well-lit place, moving in a place where there are people nearby. You are reducing the opportunity, and you are reducing your vulnerability by moving in pairs of 3, 4 people. You are reducing your vulnerability. So you can work on reducing vulnerability, you can work on reducing the opportunity.
Okay. Earlier on you did talk about how security starts with us, and as much as we would have police to help and all that, so how can we increase or enhance security in our homes?
Well, first and foremost, you can start by not advertising what you have in your home. I know this is a social media era. people would want to clean their homes, line up their property, take photos, post on social media. But the intention may be to show your friends, but you don't know who else is seeing and what their intentions are. There are two types of criminals. There are criminals who plan and target specific targets. For example, they have information that TZ in your home, you have a 100-inch screen TV, and they've got a market for it. So then they are going to plan, how are they going to attack you? To their surprise and delight, they see TZ posting a photo on Facebook off with the family for holiday to Livingston. Oh yeah, God has answered our prayers. So the house is being left in peace and attended to. So they are going to plan and attack your home. Okay, and then there are opportunistic thieves. Those that just start off from home saying, yes, today we want to steal. They have even no idea what they are going to end up with at the end of the day.
So they just leads. As the spirit leads.
Yes. As they are moving, you see they peep into your yard. You forgot a wheelbarrow outside, they pick it. You forgot a brazier or some pots outside, they pick it. Not that when they were leaving home they intended to steal a brazier or pots, but they are just opportunistic. Same as for those knocking off late. They didn't know you are going to use that route, but they just say, this route, people like using it as a shortcut. So if we hide here, somebody is bound to come through. So those are opportunistic. Then, so you avoid for the planned criminals, the ones who make plans, and also the opportunistic, by taking security in your own hands. Ensure your house is well secured before you go to sleep. It doesn't hurt if you go around, ensure all the windows are closed, ensure everything outside that is supposed to be brought into the house is brought in, ensure all the doors are locked. And like I've been saying to people, you don't need to install a sophisticated alarm system in your home for you to protect yourself. Sometimes, these door handles, whether being opened from outside or inside, the door handle will always go down. So maybe if you attach the pot to it, if somebody tries to open from outside, the first thing that is going to happen is the pot is going to fall. And obviously it will make noise, which will alert you, and also inform the offender that there is noise. People might have woken up and they will retreat. So you don't need the sophisticated equipment. You can even make do with something. I mean, we went to school, we did physics.
Yes.
It's time to make use of that. Gravity. Inexpensive. You don't need to pay anyone for it.
Right.
Yeah.
So the reason I'm laughing is because after you mentioned I'm a makeshift, I remember my friend's mother would line bottles on the windows every night. Kufumiyama bottles mukret kutant kapa window, and it did work because she managed to hack someone's hand, a thief that almost stole what was in that room. But then. Police working with the Neighbourhood Watch. How does that work?
Well, we have Neighbourhood Watch. We have CCP, which is a Community Crime Prevention Unit. So the law provides that these are citizens, private citizens, who come together to enhance security. But what is common about the two of them? Of course, they have to be registered with the Registrar of Societies. Yes, but what is common is when they are doing their operations, they have to be accompanied by a police officer. Most of the time, we insist it must be a uniformed police officer who is basically in charge. Now, if you read the Constitution, one of the duties of the police is to work together with the community to ensure there is harmony in the community. So this is one way of working with members of the community. So we are ready to give an officer or two to go with members of Neighbourhood Watch, members of the CCPU on their patrols. Sometimes these people become impatient, maybe while waiting for a police officer, they want to go on their own. It's not safe to do so, and we always advise them against that. Go with a trained police officer who is going to be responsible for everything that is happening as the patrols are being done. So it is within our mandate to work with such groupings in the community and any other groupings or any other members of the community, as long as it is fostering good relationship between the police and the community, and also it is helping in reducing crime.
Awesome. Mick, are you the kind that will take pics of yourself in the house, shine in front of your TV, post it on social media? How we doing?
Never. You can go through right now, you won't see anything.
Nothing, eh?
As far as the world is concerned, I don't even live in a house.
Somewhere. Well, that is something that we need to take note of, and I'm glad you touched on that, because at this point everybody wants to post the best picture, everybody wants to show, their decor, what they are working on, and what they've, sometimes it's not even deliberate that they'll show what they've bought. It's just a harmless picture that is taken, but in the actual sense you are exposing yourself to some smartphones. So as we are about to wrap this up, Mr. Mulenga, in the event that neighbors of security catch a criminal, what is the proper way of handling the matter without killing the person? We know a lot of people get excited.
Well, the correct and legal thing to do is hand over to the nearest police station or police post, or you can call the police to come through. In as much as sometimes people do catch actual criminals, but there is also scenarios where you become an unfortunate victim of circumstance. You are walking home, maybe from drinking. A criminal was trying to break into a home. He's chased, runs in your direction, and there you are coming without realizing what is happening. Then you just see a mob of people running towards you. Instinct will tell you to also run. And when you also run, you'll be caught, and the assumption is you were together, when in actual fact you are not. So that's why it is very important that these people are brought to the police station or handed over to the police. We will do our investigations. Also, the other thing, you touched on criminals also having access to internet technology.
Yes.
Subconsciously, because of what we see on TV, what we read in books, when we hear the word criminal, in our minds we have a shaggy-looking person, scruffy, red eyes, unkempt hair, rotting teeth. But you'll be shocked to see that some of the criminals we apprehend today, if I showed you a picture to guess what that person does for a living, criminal activities will be the last thing you're going to talk about. They just look like everyday people, just like you and me. So you may be thinking, no, that person can't be a criminal, and you drop your guard. But you have to be alert all the time. You don't know who is where, what they are planning. So basically, for Neighbourhood Watch or even members of the public, once they get hold of a suspect, at that time he's a suspect, he or she is a suspect, it's better to hand over to the police, then we'll do due diligence.
Can I pick a call? Let's pick a call quickly. Flava, good morning. Go ahead with your question.
Hello. Morning.
Good morning. Go ahead.
Kushako kavorara vaisa panganda vamingirira munganda iwe na tauva iwe nava vakavorara iwe tauva nawo vamona nomba nabakwata efyanso iwe taba kumweni nomba nga wabula ekyanso wayipa yakaboolala nisho kusobola mulandu obe nango nga twatwala report police aso natwipa yako kaboolala ashituingirire n'efyanso efi natufimona kyo kyaba sana nkwafuayo okwiso pantoko tuikajira kwali babakaboolala sana.
Thank you very much. Mr. Mulenga.
Well, the law provides for you to protect your household, to protect your life, to protect your property. So if somebody enters your home and they are armed, depending on what they are armed with, you are allowed to use appropriate force to overcome them. Or in legal terms, we may say the minimum force necessary to overcome or defeat them. So let's say somebody is armed with
an AK.
Oh, definitely. That's a very dangerous situation. First and foremost, I would not encourage you to challenge somebody who is armed with a firearm, because you are already at a disadvantage. Unless you've also got a firearm. But even the use of firearm, there are guidelines on how and when to use a firearm. But most of the time, you are within your rights to protect yourself from armed criminals who enter your home, as long as it is not deemed to be excessive. For example, somebody is armed, let's say with a firearm, and you are courageous enough, although I'm not encouraging it, you pick an iron bar, you hit that person, he drops the gun, you're able to take the gun away from him. Then there is no need for you to continue hitting that person, because the force you used has already overcome that person. He's no longer a threat. So if you go beyond, muhaikati omuntu achiraiva na mumpoke chanso ero muambo kupuma hapo fyapsana. It is different because you've already overcome. You are supposed to just call the police, unless where the person is still armed and then you are also using force. There you are within you are protected by the law. So I wouldn't encourage you to first and foremost challenge somebody who is armed. You don't know what type of condition or situation they are in. Some of these criminals, before they come to commit crime, they take drugs. They may drink alcohol, they may smoke weed, they may take other drugs to give them the courage. It's not that they are always very courageous, but they also need that courage to carry out some of their activities. So you don't know the condition that person is in. So in trying to challenge that person, you may end up endangering your own life and the lives of other members of your household. Only act when it is safe for you to do so. Yes.
All right. I think that's about it with the cause.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Oh well, we don't have any text messages. Thank you so much for that call, and we have actually learned a lot. So from today going forward, let's be cautious. All right, our movements, what we're doing on social media, and like you heard for yourself, what you need to do in the event that you have intruders in your home, or you find that there's a group of people, a gang that may be about to attack. So those are steps that you need to take, and some of the things you need to remember to stay safe.
There's also one thing that you mentioned some time back. Remember the gassing period, that time when you talked about people knowing each other within the communities? That I still remember.
Yeah, definitely. Unfortunately, the culture we've adopted nowadays is each person lives and minds their own business. You may be staying at house number 2. You don't even know the people that stay at house number 4, house number 3, house number 1. So even if you saw a criminal coming, let's say those criminals that comes during the day, somebody comes and they are busy packing somebody else's property, because you don't know who lives there. You watch and maybe you even greet that person. And yet they're a criminal, they are stealing from your neighbors. So I always encourage people to get to know one another. And once you get to know one another, you begin to have an attachment to that person, so that if that person were to shout help, it concerns you and you are able to go. Now, if somebody is shouting help who you don't know, you even maybe suspect that maybe it's a trap. They're trying to lure me they're trying to lure me to come out of my house so that they attack me.
Yeah, we have heard of those situations where someone calls out for help, but then no one comes out to help because they think
don't
it's
know
a trap.
each other. Yes.
Awesome, Mulenga, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure as always.